Okay, we're back, and we are going to start with adding mixed numbers. We're also going to work on subtracting mixed numbers today. So remember, whenever we are adding mixed numbers, really it's just you're adding fractions, and then you're adding whole numbers and putting that all together. So the first thing we're going to do, 5 3/7 plus 3 4/8. We are going to find a common denominator, and in this case we're going to go 7 times 8 is 56. That's pretty big. We can do 56. However, look at what we could do there. We could change 4/8 to 1/2, and then the denominator we could use is 14. And wow, that's way easier than 56. So let's do that. We're going to change this to 1/2, and then we're going to go 2 times 7 is 14. So 1 times 7 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. So 3 times 2 is 6. Much easier. 6 14ths plus 7 14ths is 13 14ths. 5 plus 3 is 8. So our answer there is 8 13/14. All right, now we're going to subtract, and we're not really subtracting, let's say, a mixed number, but we're taking a mixed number away from a whole number. And so one of the things that we always need to do, and some people will just kind of think about this one because you can kind of just add on, but really what we want to do is we want to trade in our 9. I'm going to say it's like a $9 bill. We're going to trade in our 9 for an 8 and a 1. But what do we want our 1 to be made of? What do we need more of? We need more sixths. So I'm going to trade in my 9 for an 8 and 6/6. Do you see how this is the same thing? 9 is equivalent to 8 and 6/6. Now I can take away 3 and 4/6. I just had to get the right change. 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 what's? 2/6. 8 minus 3 is 5. My answer is 5 and 2/6. Excuse me. Actually, that reminds me, how about right now, if you're watching this, you write the word cough at the bottom middle of your paper. Silly Mrs. Pettit with her cough. Okay, 5 and 2/6, and we're going to simplify that to 5 and 1/3. Our final answer is 5 and 1/3. All right. Now we're going to just subtract a mixed number from a mixed number. We can agree that 9 is more than 4, okay? 2/3 and 1/6 doesn't really matter because we know that 9 and some change is more than 4 and some change. So first thing we're going to do is start with our fractions. We always start with our fractions, and again, I like to set them up like this so that I can work sideways. So when I look at these, I want to find a common denominator. You could do sixths. However, I know most of you will do 18ths. So we'll go ahead and do 18ths. 6 times 3 is 18. And whatever you do to the bottom, you got to do to the top. 3 times 6 is 18. So we do 2 times 6 is 12. We've just traded those in for those equivalent fractions. 12 minus 3. 12 minus 3 is 9/18. 9 minus 4 is 5. 9/18, that should ring a bell. What can we divide those both by? Well, we can divide them both by 3. So really, if you wanted to divide by 3, your answer would be 5 and 3/6. And then we look at these and go, oh, we can still divide by 3. Divide by 3, divide by 3, 5 and 1/2 is our final answer. Hopefully you saw this though, and 9/18 rung a bell and went ding, ding, ding. That is equal to 1/2. Okay, we're back to adding. We're going to add some mixed numbers. So first step is common denominator. 6 and 10. We're going to go 60ths. And a lot of times then we say, can we make it any smaller? And in this case, we actually cannot. So 10 times 6 is 60, so 9 times 6 is 54. Big old numbers here. 4 and 1/6, this is times 10, and if we do the bottom times 10, we have to do the top times 10. Here we go. So I get in here and I add 10 plus 54, which is 64/60. 4 plus 3 is 7. do I leave my answer like this? No, 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 no. Because 64/60ths is an improper fraction. So this is going to become 1, goes in 1 time. There are 4 leftover 60ths. But I already had 7, so my answer is 8 and 4/60ths. Now, hopefully you realize that 4 and 60 are both even, so we can divide them in half. So this becomes 8 and 2/30ths, and hopefully you realize that those are both even, and so you can divide them in half and say that is 8 and 1/15. When we get a numerator of 1, we know we're done. One more problem here, and this is a mixed number minus a mixed number. So again, I'm going to rewrite it like this, and we are subtracting. So our first step is common denominators. Thirds and 11ths. Ooh, crazy. That is going to be 30 thirds. 3 times 11 is 33, and whatever we do to the bottom, we got to do the top. 11 times 3 is 33, so we do 9 times 3 is 27. Now, 11 minus 27. Woo, 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 can't do that. So this is where I have to go next door, and I have to trade in my 3 for a 2 and a 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. Traded in the 3 for a 2 and a 1. But this 1 needs to be the correct change. And what kind of change do I need? I need more 30 thirds. So I'm actually going to say this 1 is equivalent to 33 30 thirds. I know this is big numbers. This is crazy stuff. I had 11 30 thirds. I just traded in and got 33 more. So I have 44 30 thirds. Done with this, done with this. Look at all of this stuff that I've used and crossed out because I don't need it anymore. There's a lot of equivalencies to be made here. 44 minus 27. 4 minus 7. Can't really do that, so I could go here. I know some of you, if you need to do this, guys, do it. Okay? Write out a little side problem if you need to. You need to be accurate. My answer is 17 30 thirds. 2 minus 2 is 0. 17's prime. My answer is just 17 30 thirds. Alrighty, we'll see you next time.